Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop AI for HR Practical Strategies for Effective AI Use. Just a few quick housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded, and if you have a question, please feel free to unmute or use the chat. For this session, we encourage you to turn your cameras on. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kmaq, the traditional and ceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This land is covered by the peace and friendship treaties, which remind us of our responsibility to live in respect and harmony with one another and the land. We honor the Mi'kmaq Nation and commit to ongoing learning and reconciliation. Generative AI is quickly changing the way we work, and HR professionals have a unique opportunity to use it to improve efficiency, communication, and decision making. In today's session, we will explore practical HR use cases, effective prompting techniques, and key considerations for using AI responsibly and ethically. We are pleased to have Nick, CEO of CPHR Nova Scotia, leading today's discussion and sharing real-world examples and actionable strategies that you can start applying in your work right away. Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. So good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to do this. And actually, the team, to be honest, the team convinced me to do this. I will be honest and say I am not the AI expert, but I'm very, very interested in it, and I'm an early tech adopter. So I often jump with both feet in blindly and then fearlessly. And as a result, I end up learning quite a few tricks. And the CPHR Nova Scotia team was like, "Oh my God, Nick, you have so many tricks. You should share these with members." And I was like, "Really? You think so?" And so that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be very unrehearsed. I'm just going to share some of the things that I've learned, and I have no doubt that several of them are going to be brand new to some of you or all of you. So it's beyond, I think, what the average person would use AI for sure. But I have no doubt also that there's much more that I can do. But so I would say I'm sort of at that intermediate level. And so I just very quickly put a little plan together, and I'm just going to do these things live. And as I'm doing it, obviously there's downtime because you're waiting for AI to generate the thing that you've asked. We'll have time for questions throughout, especially while we're waiting. But I certainly will allow for some time at the very end to have a focused Q&A period. So I'm first going to just talk about ethics, and I only want to spend a couple minutes on this because I really want this session to be practical and hands-on. And with that in mind, feel free to open up whatever Gen AI app that you use and have it on the side, because I think, again, this is meant to be practical. As I'm doing things, you might be able to do it live, almost like we had a paint night in Lower Sackville just last week, and I think it's great when you can kind of follow someone else doing it. You see them do it, and then you follow along. At least that was the only way that my painting turned out to be half decent. So the first topic, as I said, I just want to talk about ethics, because there's a lot. I think you hear a lot more noise about this than anything else, in particular in the HR space. And I'm going to keep this brief, but just be very mindful of what you're doing. Number one, I think the first and foremost rule is, of course, you want to have something that is paid, right? Like if it's not paid, then you've got no data protection. Whatever you're sharing with it, that AI is going to learn from it. And there may be a point in the future when someone else is using the same AI tool, and it learned from your data and ends up unintentionally sharing that data. So you get that firewall by having a paid account. So stick to paid, especially if you're using anything that has private information. And I think just generally, I think you should really think long and hard, because you just don't know where things go. So right now, all the companies that we're engaging with Gen AI, they're telling you, if it's paid, it's totally private, but that could change. And so I think just always ask yourself, is this something that the Gen AI needs to have in order to deliver the task that I'm asking it to deliver on? But otherwise, I'm not going to touch on that topic much else throughout the presentation. I'm literally just going to do a bit of show and tell on how you can use AI in clever ways. So that's it for ethics. We're going to move on to my next category that I've prepared, and it's basically, I'll call it the regular. I'm going to use Copilot. I'm not going to switch back and forth between different programs, but they're all largely the same. I'm largely going to stick to Microsoft applications. So starting with Copilot, and I'm going to share my screen now, and then we'll start some show and tell. Open up for questions. Feel free to pop into the chat, and Stephanie can interrupt me. But again, while we're waiting, we can certainly take the opportunity to have conversations. So, oh, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong window. Let me move this over. Stephanie, can you confirm you're seeing our website right now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So the first thing I want to share with you is you've got through our website, and this is open to everyone, under resources and insights, there's AI for HR. There's a lot of effort and thought that has gone into this, but we've generated a guide for effective prompts. And it's kind of cleverly built in a way that you can copy and paste. You don't even have to, you can go like this and, do the copy and paste, but we actually have this button here. So if you click copy prompt, and this is under all of our competencies, right? So the first one's employee and labor relations, prepare for collective bargaining by researching the current labor market. You can copy any of these and pop it into whatever favorite Gen AI tool you use. So that's the first thing. I just want to share that we do have a resource available to you. So you saw me click the copy prompt button. All I have to do is hit Control V, and then I can start editing this. And what I'd like to share with you too, just generally in prompts. I think prompts is one of the things that everyone talks about is just so powerful, right? And it's really simple. If you want to build a good prompt, you can kind of follow this method here. So use goal, and you can write it in full sentence form, but just for the purposes of sharing, you want to ensure that you're covering the goal of whatever the prompt is, content, right? So there's some knowledge that you can share, you can upload, what the expectation is, and the source. So if you cover those 4 things, you're going to have a pretty good prompt. Okay, but sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I'm lazy, and I'll just say, let's do one. I'm building an event for CPHR members. You know what, I should just talk, it'll be easier. You don't have to painfully watch my bad typing. I'm building an event for CPHR members that will cover off how to conduct difficult conversations. Copilot, I'm not very good at prompts, so please suggest a better prompt. And so I'm going to stop talking. So as an example, if you're not sure about that, having the goal, context, expectation, source, I often use AI for my improvement to AI. So it's effectively using AI for AI. So let's just try that. So it's a very weak prompt. Yeah, current prompt, bit too broad. I kind of knew that. Try this instead. Perfect. So it's giving me a much better prompt. I'm going to get a much better result. So I'm going to pop that back in. But at the same time, I'm going to go through it and go like, okay, I didn't want it to be 90 minutes. Why did you assume that? It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be 2 hours. 10 potential event titles. I'm happy with that. It's not going to be virtual. This is going to be in person. So you can go ahead and edit that. And you can just see right there, like for sure, this is covering the goal, the content, the expectation, the source, and we can fire that off. So all the stuff you're hearing in the media about, like it's prompt. You have to be really good at writing prompts. I just find, you know what? Sometimes I've got a good one, and sometimes it's bad. And if it's bad and I can't think of what a good one is, I'll just ask it to give me a suggestion, and then I work with that. And so it's given me exactly what I wanted. There's 10 event titles, workshop overview, learning objectives. Here's the agenda, fantastic. And off we go. So I think that's all I really want to talk about with prompts. But another thing that can improve your prompts and your results, and I think a lot of people don't know about this, is if in Copilot and ChatGPT, there's a way that you can personalize it. So if you go up here, you see the three dots, you go into settings. I think the settings I have is really clever, so I will add this into the chat, and feel free to steal it. But actually, I'm going to go to pull up the window. If you can put in the chat things that you don't like about Copilot, what is it that you don't like getting the results, and you always frustrates you, and you have to you can't just copy and paste it into whatever you're doing. You have to then go back and edit whatever that thing is. While those are being shared in the chat, I'll share with you what mine are, because I've specifically said. So again, sorry, I jumped in too fast. So click the three dots, go to chat settings, go to personalization, and you can customize your instructions. So let's edit the instructions. And these are things that I don't like. So if you don't like that, I didn't even realize this. I was calling it the long dash forever, but when I realized there's a name now. So it's called the M dashes. So I said in my personal instructions, never, never under any circumstance use the M dash. I also find with email, it always gives me this opening line of, I hope you're doing well. That annoys me to no end. So never under any circumstances do that. Use plain language that's easy to understand. Skip acronyms or specialized terms. Think in first principles. Be direct. Adapt to context. Skip. Great question. I don't want that fluff. Don't give me the fluff. Just give me what I want, right? And make sure it's verifiable facts. I also encourage it to be an expert, but double check what you're doing. So you yourself, Copilot, be skeptical, do your research. You're not always right, neither am I, but we both strive for accuracy. And then I ask it to critique itself. So self-critique. Every response that you give me, rated on a scale of 1 to 10, fix weaknesses, iterate. User sees only the final version that's rated 8 or higher. So I don't see bad responses ever. And then this might be my favorite. Maybe my M dash is my favorite, but my second favorite is I'm trying to become an expert prompt writer. I'm not. So after every response, give me an example of what a better prompt would look like to get stronger results. So if you have gone into your own Copilot and you wanted something like this, I will share. This is my version, but feel free to edit it. Maybe there's things that you don't like. You're okay with the M dashes, or I hope you're doing well, or there's something else that it regularly says. So that's pretty simple. So I will demonstrate.
I'm probably going to have kids with me, but they can join us. Yeah. Okay.
Stephanie, if you don't mind, just keeping an eye on the mutes, that would be great. So let's just say, I don't know, I'm reviewing our benefits renewal. What should I focus on? That's pretty general, right? This is kind of stuff you would just put in Google. This is a terrible prompt, but based on that personal results, and you probably yourself have probably put something in that's just as simple and could be better. And if you haven't personalized it, it's not going to recommend a better prompt. So let's just see what this comes up with. And at the end, what I expect to see. Okay, so here's the top 10 things I should be reviewing. Here's some questions, my CO lens. And look at that. That's one of my favorite things. So because I've personalized how Copilot will interact with me, in particular, I've taught it that I want to become better at prompt writing. It gave me the answer, but it still said, hey, here's a better prompt. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually take that prompt and I'll just pop it right back in there and and get a much better result. So my original prompt, one terrible sentence, but I got results. I could work with that, but maybe I needed a much better result. It gave me this better prompt because I said, always teach me a better prompt. I dropped it in. And look, now it's asking for a lot more information, which is great. So I'm going to get a much, much better result. Now, sometimes that's not necessary, but maybe this one it is. It's a critical thing. So it's saying, yeah, you better upload. If I'm going to do this right, you better upload your renewal report, your claims experience, summary letter, your actuary report, and your cost comparison worksheet. So I'll just pause there. I'll see if there are any questions on this particular topic, because again, and I'll just show you again where to do that. The chat settings, get into personalization, edit the instructions, and then here are all the things that I wanted to do. Any questions, comments, reactions? Is it new to folks? Did you realize that was an option? Oh, I had no idea. New to me. Very helpful. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. We're just zipping along. All right. So I'm just going to refer to my notes, see what the next thing I was going to cover. Great. I'm glad to see this is new tips for everyone. Awesome. Okay. So let's start a new chat. Work IQ is currently off for us. We don't have that, so I can't get into that or co-work. But I can share with you in the new version, if you have Copilot, there's this new design here. You do have the option now of asking it to just auto pick on how it handles your prompt. You can prioritize it. I just want a quick response. You can ask it to think deeper, and all three of these, it's going to pick and choose whether it's using OpenAI's ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude. So all of those are available, but you can, if you are familiar with these, you can certainly choose them specifically. Generally, they are quite different. I typically leave it to auto. I don't always know which one's going to be better, and Copilot's pretty good at choosing them. If you do get a vague result, you can try switching them up. Generally, I will tell you that OpenAI GPT is pretty good at kind of giving you like that business sort of angle more. It's pretty insightful, but it's kind of simpler. So if you're doing something that's not overly complex, ChatGPT is the preferred choice in my opinion. Claude is better when you're doing some major analysis and it's quite complex. Maybe multiple steps. But again, I typically just leave it on auto. But I just wanted everyone to know that when you're dealing with Copilot, you do have the option of either tool. It's built right into it, so that's good. And I think, okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is just using a voice. So let's go back to my last benefits question there. So I started off with, I'm reviewing our benefits renewal. What should I focus on? Not a great prompt, but I got pretty decent results. As I said before, if you personalize it and it can give you a better prompt, look at the first sentence that it gave me. Always, always, always think of like, who do I want the Copilot or ChatGPT to be? Do I just want it to be an average person? In this case, no, I want it to be an employee benefits consultant. I want someone with expertise in this area. So anytime I'm using this for finance stuff, I would use, my first sentence would be act as a chartered professional in accounting. If you're dealing with something that's HR, for sure, but act as a chartered professionals in human resources. I think I'll call this as sort of the voice part of this presentation. You want to make sure that you've got the right voice. You don't want it to be speaking from the wrong perspective. You want it to be an expert, and that will help you get a much, much better response. I think, I'm just going to pause now and see before I'm going to move into new areas now. But before I do, just want to see if there's any questions generally around prompting, personalization, using the different voice, the different the options of switching it from a quick response deeper, anything around those topics. Any questions, comments? All good? Quiet group. Everyone's eating.
Nick, this is Carla. Sorry, I came in late, couldn't find the link.
Yeah.
Someone, thank you for the events people for sending it to me.
Awesome.
Because I came in late, I just want to confirm, because I'm like comparing because I use Copilot and I like it. But I'm using the free plan. So what you're showing is if you pay for the plan. I just want to confirm that because I'm not seeing this on the free plan.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of what I'm sharing right now is only within a free plan, and I would strongly recommend using. Sorry, not free. I said that opposite.
Yeah, if you pay for
a paid plan.
Okay.
You have that much more strength in your responses. But most importantly, and this is the first part that I covered that you missed, and I'm glad that you were able to join. But it's just around the ethics piece. A paid plan is just it's going to give you a lot more protection with any confidential information you're sharing. With the free plan, everything you're putting in there, it's learning from it, and it potentially will use any information you share with it in future responses to people from anywhere around the globe, really. But yeah, I should share with you too, Carla, and anyone else that's joined. I'm not sharing that I'm an expert. I'm sharing just the tools that I use and some of the tips and tricks that I've benefited from. And my team in particular has said, you need to share this with members. It's so super practical. So I'm just going to share generally the tool that I use and how I use it. But a lot of this can be applied to other tools. But thanks for the question, Carla, and welcome to the group. Other questions? All good? Okay. So it's going to get a lot more complicated from here. So I am going to move into what the category, what I like to call is Copilot create. So Copilot can create things. And you probably hear the term agentic AI quite a bit. That's something I've been really enjoying lately. So on the left here, and again, this is a paid option. I don't believe I'm very confident the free does not have new agent, but you can create a new agent, and let's build one together. So again, what you're faced with at the beginning is just a regular prompt spot. So before I do this, again, one of the tricks that I often will use is I'll use AI to use AI. So I'm going to go back to my chat and say, I would like to build, sorry, I'm going to talk instead. It's probably faster. I would like to build a new agent that will have a very thorough understanding of my benefits plan. I often get questions from staff about what's covered and various different components of our benefits plan, including vision, health insurance, life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment. Please give me a great prompt to get my new health benefits agent started. Okay, probably not the best, probably again, not the best prompts. I'm gonna let this run. And then again, because I've told it I want to get better prompting, I'm probably just gonna jump to the bottom. Actually, no, you know what, for the interest of time, I'm just gonna work with this. So we've covered that part. Okay, so it has given me recommended agent instructions. That's perfect. You are the benefits advisor. Your purpose is to provide accurate, helpful, and easy to understand answers about the organization's employee benefits plan. Perfect. So it's going to answer questions about all the different stuff. Knowledge source, so I will have to share that, but I'll cover that in a moment. It's given recommendations on response style. So again, like you can edit any of this. So I'm just going to click this right here, which copies that in this entire box, not all this introduction stuff and this closing out stuff. So I'm going to go back to new agent now because AI has helped me build AI. And I'm now going to paste that in there. And again, you don't have to do this blindly. You can go through and go, you know what? I don't want it to be conversational. I want this to be formal. I'm happy with short paragraphs. Yeah, so you can go through and edit. Maybe we don't have second opinion services, so I'm going to drop that. But otherwise, this is a pretty good start to building my first agent. So here we go. So I hit send. Just going to scroll down and watch this thing happen. This might take some time, so I'm happy to field any questions around agentic AI while this is running. And again, you can pop it into the chat. You can come off mute and have a conversation with me. And thank you for coming, by the way, while you're thinking about your questions. What a great turnout. We often don't hold webinars in the summer, so I'm really happy to see this turnout. Okay, here we go. So here's an agent. The agent builder has started. So it's kind of describing the purpose of this. I have quite a few agents, so you can even like generate a new icon here, because on the left, I'll show you this in a minute. Actually, let's just build an icon that looks like a medical icon. Okay, so I'll just have that, build that. I used to just leave them, but I've started to have more and more of them, and it's easier to identify them when you have an icon. I'll show you that in a moment, but let's just let this run. But any questions, comments while the images are always the slowest part. Any questions, comments? All good? Is anyone following along? Anyone like replicating what I'm doing with their own Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude? That image looks good. Come on, wrap up. Just need the last 20%. Thanks, Shane. Thanks for the thumbs up. Come on. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I've got a customized icon. Let's see the purpose. That looks good. Some core benefits. Perfect. So this is really important for building an agent like this. You have to share stuff with it. So if it's going to be good, I am going to go to my downloads. I've already put this here. So there's our benefits booklet. I'm going to upload this. There it is. So it's preparing it. Do I want to search all websites? I don't, because this has got to be specific. I want this specifically to just look at our own benefits. Only use specified sources. Yes, that's what I want. Do I want to be able to create Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint? Sure, why not? Create images? Sure, why not? It also has suggested prompts. So I expect that I'm going to go into this agent quite often. Like every time someone comes to my office and ask me a benefits question that I don't know off the top of my head, then I'm going to want, some easy quick start. So I don't even have to type out anything. So let's just say those look good. It's still, oh, I had a problem here. Just try that one more time. Let's go. Just in case, I'm going to pop into my browser and try to find a benefits plan example. Benefits plan book example. Let's see if I can quickly download something. Yeah, it's not happy with it. Here we go. Okay, I found a sample online. I'm going to use that one just so I can demonstrate and show you that you can ask it questions.
Sharon has a question, Nick.
Oh, yeah. Sharon, please. Love to
Hi,
field the
Nick.
question.
Thanks for holding this. This is really awesome. It's great to see you creating stuff live. So thank you for that. I'm really curious about this agent. So I'm assuming, but want to validate, this is something that could be embedded into like your intranet site for employees, and employees could then put in questions. Is that something that could be done?
Sort of. So this agent, as far as I know, and as I said in the beginning, I'm not the expert, but from what I know, you can build this agent and you can share it. So anyone within their own Copilot, I'm just not certain you can post it on an intranet, but you can certainly embed it into everyone's Copilot. So anytime they open up Copilot, they would see it. Is this one working?
Okay.
Oh, it's still not
What
working.
is it like if your intranet is SharePoint? Maybe you could do it.
Yeah, it's possible, but
Okay.
like honestly, sharing with stuff like that, I've hit a snag with this. I'm gonna exit out and we're gonna build something else.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, yeah. So let's like stuff like that. Let's go back to Sharon's question before I go back to an agent. I don't always know, and so one of the things I think has led me to being really effective at using AI is I'm not afraid to say I don't know, and I will just ask AI. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm in the process of making a benefits specific agent, agentic AI in Copilot, and I would like to know if there's any way I can host that on an intranet, for example, in a Microsoft SharePoint site. Or is it only limited to sharing it with other staff members' Copilot app? Okay, let's see. I haven't tried that, so maybe it is possible. I've only been able, well, all I've done so far is create the agent and then share it with staff. But let's see. Yes, so yes, you can. It does not have to be limited to Copilot only. Can be accessed. Share the agent through Copilot specific users, publish or deploy. So there are some limitations, but yes, you can.
Awesome.
Let's build a different, I'm going to go back. Let's build another one. How are we doing on time? Oh, yeah, we're good. Okay, so I think one of the things that we all have is probably some recurring meeting. You can build an agent to help you prepare for that. So let's get started with that. I think that one might go a lot faster and easier than the benefits one. So I'm going to start the dictation on. Every 2 weeks, I have a meeting with my manager. It's called one-to-one biweekly. I need you to scan through my entire Microsoft ecosystem, including any Teams conversations, emails, updated documents such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and scan my previous one-to-one biweekly meeting for the agenda in the previous conversations, and generally get me ready for the next one. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh, I didn't tell it I was making an agent. Hold on a second. Let's generate a Copilot agent. Please give me a strong prompt to start building. Okay. So, oh, by the way, when this pops up, you can always click if you're in a rush, you don't want the deep, long thought process, you can just click this and get a quick response. I think for this, I'm going to let it run through. While this is running, Sharon, that was a great question. Thank you. Anyone else while this is going? All right, so let's go to new agent. I'm going to copy that prompt that it gave me. And in the interest of time, I'm going to assume that's an awesome prompt. So you are my executive one-to-one preparation agent. Got these bi-weekly calls, start building the agent. So it's going to look for any meet. I could have done a better job with this. I could have called it specifically what the meeting is usually called, but we'll just go with this for the purposes of a quick demonstration. It's formulating instructions. This will be ready in just a few moments. And I'm going to show you something that's really, really cool. Because I think I love when you can automate things, and I'll show you. Perfect. Okay, so let's get this. Let me finish this first. So here's the executive one-to-one prep. So it's going to use, I can specifically steer it towards specific files if I wanted to. I can go into our cloud and start sharing stuff. I can use SharePoint. I can drop URLs here from SharePoint. Yeah, so yeah, there's lots that you can connect to it, but again, just for the interest of time, I'm going to say this is good enough. So I'm going to create the agent. Perfect, start chat. So it's called Executive One-to-One Prep. I'm going to say, sure, find my next one-to-one biweekly or CPHR NS biweekly call. I'm going to click search. Actually, sorry, 1 second. Go back. I want to do one other thing to it. I'm going to click that. So this is a really clever thing. So you can put in a prompt like this, and let's say that's a solid prompt. Let's pretend. I can go in here and schedule this. So if I know my meetings are every other Friday. Oh, come on, don't fail me now. Okay, this is not my fault. There's something wrong on the Copilot side. But what's really clever is you can go up here and you can schedule this prompt, and you can say, I want it every 2 weeks, Friday morning. And then what ends up happening is Friday morning, you get an email. You get an email in your Outlook, and it says executive one-to-one prep has answered your prompt. Click here to see more. And when you click it, it'll jump to that agent, and you'll see it's already asked it, and the answer is right there. See if I can. No, of course it's not working when we're doing a demo. I'll let it run. Maybe it just needs to run first. Let's just give this a moment. Come on. Also, please pray for me that there's no private one-to-one conversation stuff that comes up. I've been good lately, so there shouldn't be any disciplinary comments or anything. As I said, I thought it would be super practical if this was unrehearsed and I just did it in real time. Then you're getting like a genuine, authentic sort of show and tell. Any questions, comments? Oh, here we go. So it found something. That's great. It's got some. Now let's see if that scheduling prompt will work now. No, it's not happy. Okay, so we're going to move on. So that is how you would build an agent, and I can always circle back. There's other stuff you can build too, which is really cool. I'm sorry, I have to stop this. Let's go back to new chat and clear. So if you click this right here, if you click create, Notebooks is already pinned there. I think it's probably because that's something I do more regularly than the other options. But if you click create, this is where you get suddenly some really cool options. Now, some of these you can do directly in the app, and I'll show that in a moment, but you can build a PowerPoint here, Word, Excel, you can create videos, you can design infographics, create a story, design a poster, and there's much more. I was just playing with brand kits the other day, so now when I build my PowerPoint, Word, or Excel, it's using the right branding as opposed to just going with its own sort of style. You can edit images, etc., etc. But the one I want to show you is Notebooks. Notebooks is a clever tool. So it's kind of like Agent, but it's more immersive. So you can build a new notebook. Let's go new notebook, and I'm going to try benefits again. Benefits notebook. Let's call it that. Let's say create. And what's really clever about a notebook is just like it sounds like an actual notebook. Imagine you had a specific notebook for one particular task. You can start adding different items here. I'm going to click the upload and see if the benefits will work here. Okay, so while this is uploading, so you can add resources to it. And it's sort of like a notebook dedicated to one thing. So it's not going to go searching on the internet. It's not going to tap into other things in your OneCloud. It's kind of like locked into one particular topic. And the neat thing is, as you interact with this, as you start to use different prompts and asking things of this, you can save them here, right? So for future reference. So the benefit of this versus the agent is you don't have to continue to ask the same questions over and over, because maybe you forgot, right? Someone says, you know, what are the beneficiary rules in our life insurance plan? And you're like, oh my God, no one's asked me that for 9 months. I'm gonna have to ask that same prompt again. You can kind of save it here, and this can be like your headquarters for that particular topic. What's also cool about it is you can build audio overviews. You can build study guides if this is something that you need to learn. You know, it's like, my God, I need to know my benefits plan better. You can build study guides, which could include like flashcards and you know, maybe you're like me and you like to listen to podcasts. You can turn this into a podcast, and you can have two people that are discussing the benefits plan that you have, and you can just, you know, pop that onto your phone. Listen to it on your drive into work every day, and it's just a fun, engaging, and sometimes it's almost humorous too, the way they interact. The two AI voices interact over your topic. But yeah, the notebook is a really neat feature. I sometimes struggle to figure out sometimes, and I'm being transparent, when I should build an agent versus a notebook. But notebook does give you sort of like a safe space where you've got much more history on the topic, whereas agent is a better use for when you want to have something like pre-built and you're going to go to it regularly. So I used the example earlier that sometimes I have finance stuff, right? So I will build a chartered professional in accounting who is knowledgeable on our policies, and I can just go back to that agent, and I don't have to say every single time I open up Copilot, I don't have to say, act like you are a chartered professional in accounting, and I'm going to re-upload for the 15th time our policies. That agent is like standing there ready to go. Whereas with the notebook, it's like a home base for everything around that topic. So I can interact with this. Let's see if I can build. I don't know how. I'll try and make it short. So I want it casual. It's a dialogue. We're going to keep it short. Voice, we're going to use Ava and Stefan, and I generate the audio. This is going to take about 2 minutes, but after 2 minutes, I've got a podcast that's going to help me have a thorough understanding of my benefits plan, so that I'm in a better position to answer staff's question. Maybe it's something that I even post on the intranet or it's part of the onboarding process. Study guide, as I said, you can create flashcards, you can create quizzes. it's a nice home base for any complicated topic where you're going to come back to regularly and and as you keep going back to it, it will expand. You'll have more resources available for it, and the more you use it, the better it gets, and the more beneficial it is for you. So I'm going to stop there on Copilot Create, and I'm going to go into Microsoft applications and show you how you can use Copilot, in particular, the tool that I use, for various things. So let's just say, for example, I'm just getting started with looking for a new payroll provider. And this is probably not the best approach, but just for the purposes of demonstrating the capabilities of Copilot, let's just pretend this is how you would seek out a payroll provider. So just humor me. So I'm going to Google UKG. I've heard of them. Who else have I heard of? I've heard of Ceridian. I'm going to open up their website, and let's just go with ADP. So I'm going to open up ADP. There we go. And I'm like, oh my God, like, where do I start? I don't even know where to start. And oh, that's the login page. Which one is this? This is Ceridian. PowerPay. Let's go to there. This is a UKG login page. UKG. Close that. Welcome, glad you're here. No, that's still a login page. Okay, here we go. So this is a very crude way of doing a payroll, but let's just say you're just like, you just want to get a high level before you start doing a proper payroll comparison. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this chat right here because I'm not going to read all this. This is insane. So I'm just going to say so I'm going to do you don't have to watch me type. Allow my microphone. I have several tabs open. They're all payroll providers. I don't know the difference between all of them. I would like you to do research on these websites and summarize the pros and cons of each of them, and perhaps give me an initial recommendation of which one would service the needs of CPHR Nova Scotia the best. We are a very small organization with very small payroll requirements, not complicated at all. Okay, again, not the best prompt, but just for the purposes of demonstrating what Copilot's capable of doing within your browser. Now, I haven't told it which tabs, and you'll see I've got some that are not related to it. Let's see what happens. So it's going through. I'm just going to click quick answer just to move this along. We got 10 minutes left, and there's a couple of things I'd love to show you and save time for questions too, of course. All right, so it's going through, and I can go back and forth. I can have conversations, continue this thing. This is a really simple example of let's just say you're shopping for, I don't know, let's say this extension, this plug thingy, and I want to compare it to another one. This is a really silly example, but I have 2 Amazon products open. Please compare them, as I don't have time to read through it all and make a recommendation. Here we go. Here's the CO versions. Side-by-side comparison. The 2 random things I just clicked on, it's doing a side-by-side comparison. What stands out, and it's making a recommendation. So I think this is an underutilized thing, and I gave you a payroll example and a silly shopping example, which could be a personal benefit. But it shows the functionality that's available to you that's built right into the app, which I think is pretty cool. Let's just say, as another example of something built right into a Microsoft application, let's say you've got a combination of different documents. You've got a Word document, you've got a PDF document, and you're looking at them going, my gosh, I wish this was all in Excel. Like this is not user-friendly. Down here, you'll see it's kind of hiding. It'll pop out. I can open that up, and I can say, I have a series of documents. They are all in. I would like you to build a spreadsheet having each invoice on a single tab, and please create a final tab that adds up the total of each invoice combined. Please, I think there might be some personal data on there, so please remove any personal data like bank accounts, as that's not required. So I can hit the plus now. I've already put these into a folder, so I'm going to grab it. So you'll see there's a PNG. Oh, it's not even a Word, so I've got a PNG and 3 PDF files. I'm going to add those. They're now uploaded. I think all of them are there. So now I don't have to take the time to go into Excel and build this thing from scratch. This is going to save me at least a half hour of combining those 4 PDFs and image files into an Excel document that is much more serviceable for me. So it's extracting the details. And we'll let that thing run. While that's running, the last thing I'm going to share is vibe coding. Oh, it's found it. So it's almost done. I'm going to go back to here. If you're not familiar with vibe coding, it's next level stuff. It's absolutely crazy what you can do with vibe coding. But vibe coding is essentially you building a website or an app and not having any IT or coding skills. I particularly use Lovable. There are others, but let's just build. Let's just say go back to the benefits example. So I have to run onboarding sessions for my staff, onboarding for brand new staff. And I just find the benefits portion of my presentation super boring. I want to make it a little spicier, a little bit more engaging. So I'm going to ask it to build maybe a Jeopardy style game that I can participate. It can be a bit more engaging for my onboarding classes. So I'm just going to turn on my voice mode and then describe that. Just give me a moment. I would like to build a more exciting way of engaging my new staff into onboarding, in particular with our benefits plan. I find it's very boring when I go through a presentation. And instead, what I'd love to make is a Jeopardy style game. And you can have different categories within the benefits plan and then different points for each one. So you can have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And I need to group them up into teams. So please create it so I can have anywhere from 2 to 5 teams. I need a spin the wheel to figure out who's going to start first. And we'll go there. Okay, so there's my text. I'm going to see if I can upload this fake benefits plan. Wait for that to upload. I'm going to let that play. Now this coding, vibe coding takes a bit of time, so I'm just going to throw that away over here for a moment and see how this all worked out. So there's invoice 1, 2, 3, and is there an invoice summary? Yes, there is. Perfect. So you can see I just took 3 PDF documents and one image file, and just like that, it's now in a much more workable Excel spreadsheet. All right, while this is running, I think this is probably a good time to completely open it up for questions. We got 3 minutes left, and we can just have a dialogue in this running in the background. So questions, comments, anything that was confusing that you want me to clarify on? I hope this was fun. This was enjoyable for me. These are things that I love doing. Yes, Sharon.
Nick, when you're using Lovable, is that a purchased item so that we're being mindful of anything that is confidential? How does that work?
Yeah, exact. Great question. It's just like Copilot and ChatGPT. You can use free versions or you can buy. Now, it's a bit different than the other programs in that this uses tokens, so you have to buy tokens. So each prompt that you give it, so this will generate like the starting point, and then of course I'm going to have multiple edits. I often find it gets a good start from the get-go, but then once I get it, there's going to be things I want to tweak, and each prompt is gobbling up a token. So you can pay, for example, I think it's roughly about $50. I think you get 500-ish tokens a month. And if you go over that and you're not in a project, you either have to wait for the next month or you buy more tokens. But that essentially safeguards your content. Now, unlike Copilot and ChatGPT, often what you're doing with these vibe coding apps is that you're often posting them. Once you're done, you're posting them on the web. So anyone that has that link could potentially go to your app. So you just have to be mindful of once you finish building it, it would be visible externally, provided they have the link. But you can, there's certain things you can do within the app to safeguard. If there is data in the app, you can safeguard the data, like have it password protected, have a second factor authorization built into it. Like whatever you can think of to protect that data, you can do. And again, without any coding skills, you just literally have to describe it. I'd like second factor authorization. I would like to ensure that the data is completely protected so that when I do post it publicly, there's no way anyone can hack the data. So there's a lot you can do to protect it. But as far as your prompts go, that's all protected with the paid app. I'll upload the right documents. It's an accounting book. Oh, I uploaded something that's not benefits, but sure, we'll keep that going. In the interest of time, because we are actually at the hour, I can show you one that I've already built. Just very quickly. Nope, that's not it. Oops. So this is more for CPHR. So I built this for the purposes of. That's not it. There we go. So this is a complete game that I built. Let's just say 2, and this is Nick, and I'm playing against Sharon. So we plan on taking this to our campuses when we're trying to explain how CPHR works. I have no coding experience, and look at this. I built an entire app and a game and make it much more engaging to learn the content, right? So what are the eligibility traps for the CPHR? I'd like to take 200 with 70% or higher. We're working on the questions. That's a silly one, but what is a student membership? So the functionality is there, obviously the Q&A we're working on, but you can start to see how much more engaging some of the stuff is. And And again, this isn't just for building games. This could be built for anything you can think of. If you have a mentorship program in your office and you wanted to do some analysis between the different applications and improve the strength of the pairings, you can build an application and do that. Like the world's your oyster. Any app you can think of. I mean, technically, you could probably build a payroll app. You can certainly build something that would compete with SurveyMonkey or Doodle polls, like these, anything that you've ever interacted with online, you can build here. It just takes some time and patience and thought process. And again, if you're not sure where to start, like when Sharon asked me that question, I didn't know, just go to AI and ask, like, how would I build a doodle-like application? I'd like to build it in Lovable using bug coding. Give me the prompt, and then you take that from Copilot or ChatGPT. You come over to Lovable and insert it here, and off you go. Like there's literally you can't. I think one of the things that it's worked well for me is you can't break anything. The world's not going to come crashing down because you put a weird prompt or a wrong prompt. Like just play with it. There's nothing you can do wrong. Again, just keep in mind the ethics piece, right? The data, just make sure it's behind a paid wall. And do you really need to share that data? Ask yourself that question. Other than that, there's nothing that can go wrong, provided you protect the data. So I think that's it, and we are out of time. But if anyone, I'm not going anywhere. If you have to run, that's great. We will, just as to close this out, we will generate a tips sheet and some of the helpful information that I shared. We'll send that out to everyone that attended this, and it should cover all of the topics that I've discussed today. But otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. I've got I'm good till 1 o'clock. So if anyone wants to stick around and chat some more about anything, then I am here. And if you need to run, then thank you so much for coming. All the chartered members, we will put in the CPD hours in your log for you. So yeah, thank you. As I said, I'm sticking around though.